I only have one message to give you. I don't care what you think of me. I don't care what you call me. I do care what you do with this information because it is important to our survival as a species.
Hello, this is Dr. Grande. Today's question asks if I can analyze the mental health and personality factors behind people who refuse to wear a mask in areas where it is mandated by law. I'm going to divide people into those who comply and those who don't. I realize there's a gray area in the middle, to be sure. So here are the reasons why people do not comply. They could believe that masks cause more harm than good, again, transmitting the illness by touching their face while they're trying to adjust the mask, the fogged glasses when driving I talked about. Now, some might say, why don't they just take the masks off in the car? Which I think makes sense, but again, it goes back to the idea that somebody could touch their face. So this can get kind of tricky. Next reason, they don't believe that COVID-19 is dangerous. So this would include a number of conspiracy theorists. They think that this is just all made up and nobody's really dying of this illness. The next item, they know that they are not infected. So masks don't really offer much protection for an individual wearing them, but rather they provide protection to other people from the person who is wearing the mask. So if somebody believes that they are not infected, they may not believe that wearing a mask is important. The next item, sometimes people are just rebellious, especially with a new rule. So coronavirus led to this mask rule, and some people are simply going to rebel against the rule. It could be that some of these individuals are narcissistic. So I shouldn't have to do something for society. What has society done for me? I'm too important to wear a mask. All the different things we see with narcissism. If I were to focus on reasons like being narcissistic, rebellious, and having conspiratorial thinking, then this would be the personality profile of a person who does not comply. I'll use the 5-factor model here. I remember the 5 factors through the acronym OCEAN: openness to experience, conscientiousness, extroversion, agreeableness, and neuroticism. So here we would expect to see a low level of openness to experience. People low in this trait don't believe in theories. And wearing a mask, right now at least, is largely based on a theory. Next reason, they don't believe that COVID-19 is dangerous. So this would include a number of conspiracy theorists. So here we would expect to see a low level of openness to experience. People low in this trait don't believe in theories. And wearing a mask, right now at least, is largely based on a theory.
Do you like being able to speak your mind freely, or practice whatever religion you want? People in America take these rights for granted, but these rights only exist because of the First Amendment in the Bill of Rights. The First Amendment states, Congress shall make no law respecting an establishment of religion, or prohibiting the free exercise thereof, or abridging the freedom of speech, or of the press, or the right of the people peacefully to assemble and to petition the government for a redress of grievances. America is the most free and most prosperous country in the world. But why is America different, and why should we preserve these values? Let's take a look. 1. The First Amendment protects the free exercise of religion. If you are a Muslim, a Christian, an atheist, you can freely practice your beliefs in America. The founders did not believe that religion should be divorced from politics, but they prohibited the government from establishing a national church. You see, liberty can only be kept if Americans remain a good and moral people, and the Constitution promotes the free exercise of religion. It doesn't eliminate religion. 2. Freedom of speech is one of the most important rights in our Constitution. It allows Americans to speak their opinions without fear of punishment or regulation. This means the First Amendment not only protects speech that is widely accepted, it also protects speech that isn't popular. In fact, freedom of speech would be meaningless if it only protected speech that we all liked. 3. I'm sure you've heard all about fake news in the media recently, but what if that fake news was coming directly from your government? This is why we have a free and independent press. The press searches for truth and promotes virtue and unity. The press is also a check on the government and helps to advance American values. 4. The First Amendment also protects the right for people to gather peacefully. It guarantees the right for citizens to petition the government to protest or give an opinion on an issue. So all these people you see marching in the streets with picket signs for God knows what are only able to do so because of the First Amendment. America is a country where citizens can practice their faith and speak and gather freely without government intervention. These freedoms, guaranteed under the First Amendment, are critical and we must preserve them at any cost. I'm Will Witt.
Yo, what up, Dogs? Paul Rudd here, actor and certified young person. A few days ago, I was talking on the iPhone with my homie, Governor Cuomo, and he's just going off about how us millennials need to wear masks because, get this, apparently a lot of COVID is transmitted by us millennials. No cap. So Cuomo's asked me, he's like, Paul, you gotta help. What are you, like 26? And I didn't correct him. So fam, let's real talk. Masks? They're totally beast. So slide that into your DMs and twitch it. Vibe check. Yes, queens like ourselves. We want to go to bars, we want to drink, hook up, do our TikToks. I get it. I'm not gonna preach at you like some celebrity. Ugh. This is a combo where I talk and you shut up and wear your mask.
The mayor admitting this morning the NYPD's social distancing enforcement efforts aren't working. Overnight, a video surfacing showing a rough arrest of a young mother with her child in her hands. Police say it happened before noon Wednesday at the Atlantic Avenue Barclays Center station. Officers stopping her from going into the subway with her child because she wasn't wearing her mask properly.
This violent arrest on the Lower East Side has been raising questions. The NYPD says officers approached a small group of people for allegedly violating social distancing rules.
That's right, Nicole. In that gym, it's actually closed for at least 24 hours. The owner is MIA. Local leaders cracking down. Police move in. They escort him out. He's placed in a squad car wearing a mask. And why?
The decision that I made was to not close the facility.
We spoke with Michael Carnevale shortly before he was arrested. The plantation gym owner refused to temporarily shut down his business after someone reported the studio was violating Broward's emergency order regarding masks. He doesn't require them while working out.
If this whole thing's really about health, this is where we're getting into some murky waters here. I don't see how I can make my patrons wear a mask while on a treadmill or while they're exercising.
A cop came around and started telling us gym's gonna be shut down in about 5-10 minutes.
Guests were quickly told to leave. Attorneys quickly called on the phone. You may remember Carnevale of Fitness 1440 filed a lawsuit against the county about the emergency mask orders, despite doctors and county leaders insisting those masks, those orders, only help deal with the surge of COVID-19 cases.
We've lost perspective. We've lost common sense.
Are you worried you're putting people at risk?
100% I am. I'm super concerned about someone getting dizzy or fainting with a mask on while on a treadmill.
How do you deal with anti-maskers? First off, don't worry. Take a deep breath right through your mask because you can easily do that. 3, mock them from a safe distance. I'm not talking about posting pictures or videos. There's no need for that. We all know what an idiot looks like. Simply wait until they're safely out of earshot and then mercilessly rip apart their bizarro world theory that face masks are just the start of a global plan to get us all to wear burqas by 2025 so Big Burqa can finally cash in. 4, get on with it. Wearing a face mask is currently our best ticket out of this hellscape. So wear yours with confidence when required and needed. Wearing a mask may have used to mean that the wearer was fearful and concerned only with their own well-being. But now we know that people who wear face masks are courageous, kind, doing their part for the greater good, and of basic intelligence.
Meantime, I know this may annoy some, but I just don't care. Let's deal with masks, okay? Now, on this program, we call it the last line of defense against, for common sense, rather. We're here fighting lunatic lefties all day, every day, playing whack-a-mole with all the crazy that happens. But I'm sorry. You are not a freedom fighter. You are not pushing back against the left's march against the institutions if you are somebody who's carrying on like this.
Reason for travelling. Have I disturbed the peace today? No. Have I disturbed the peace? No. No. I'm just asking what your reason for travelling is. Well, I don't need to tell you that. I don't know you. Okay. So where have you come from today? I don't need to answer your questions. No. No. Have I committed a crime? Pardon? Have I committed a crime? Have I committed a crime? Thank you.
Now, if you don't like the government, if you want to sack Andrews, if you want to blame Dan, then do what my friend Gideon Rosner from the IPA did. When he got a mask, he made sure that he got a slogan, put on the mask. So if you want to do Black Lives Matter as a lefty, or if you want to do it's all Dan's fault on the right, whatever. If you want to put one of your favourite football team, or you just want to have one that says #PM Live, 9 p.m. weeknight, Sky News, feel free. But wear the damn mask, okay?
Police in Hammond, Indiana, stop a church service defying statewide stay-at-home orders. Neighbors called to report dozens of people heading into the Church of Christ at 169th and Leland. Officers went inside and found 30 to 40 people gathered for Palm Sunday. Some wore masks, but most did not. Hammond's mayor says the pastor ignored officers who told everyone to leave.
I think that just the fact that they had the first service, they violated the law criminally, and I'm going to speak to the prosecutor about that tomorrow.
Despite a safer at-home order, this live-stream video of a Tampa, Florida church service has ignited outrage, showing a crowded sanctuary. The church saying they should be considered an essential service.
People have gone totally crazy. As the president said, he wants to get everybody back worshiping God come Easter Sunday. That needs to happen.
President Trump has now changed that timeline, and that pastor now arrested for failing to follow the stay-at-home order in his county.
These days, public spaces are closed for a reason. It's to stop the spread of COVID-19. And one mom found out the hard way officials are serious about it. As Diane McInerney reports, she was arrested and charged with trespassing for entering a closed city playground.
Controversy erupts as a mom is arrested in a playground closed due to the pandemic.
Officer, you don't want to do that.
The arrest of a Meridian woman has sparked backlash.
I feel like I was singled out because I was the only person that was arrested.
The incident happened at a park in Meridian, Idaho, where anti-lockdown parents reportedly sent out this plea on social media. There are a bunch of us taking our kids to the park to tear the tape off the playground. Let's take a stand.
Police say they went to the playground after receiving several calls about what was taking place. They say when they got there, caution tape and metal signs stating that the playground was closed had been removed, and they repeatedly informed everyone it was time to clear out.
Under what grounds?
I just told you. We can close it any time.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear you. You don't need to talk to me rude. I'm just a mom with my kids.
Then things come to a head.
You have 5 seconds. 3.
Arrest me for being at the park. Do it. Report it. Okay, this is not... What is this? Officer, you don't want to do that.
As the mom is led away, others protest.
He is arresting her for being on a public playground.
In a statement, cops say mom of 2, Sarah Brady, was charged with trespassing after failing to adhere to the rules in these very trying times.
Get off of me!
Grabbed around the neck by police, a woman who wasn't wearing a mask.
Choking me!
The forceful manoeuvre during a scuffle yesterday in Collingwood as her boyfriend watched.
It's a man on a girl and you choked her.
For what? For a mask? For not having a mask? Look how pathetic you are.
This is the woman who was arrested. Police now agree she has a medical exemption.
Now, the way this pandemic has changed our lives can severely impact our mental health. And as 41 Action News reporter Jordan Betts shows us, medical experts are seeing the detrimental effects.
We've seen an increase in not only the suicide hotline numbers, but the attempts have been more serious.
Experts say suicide is a growing concern during the pandemic. Data showing the volume of calls on the rise and the types of calls even more alarming.
So kiddos are doing more serious things to attempt to take their life.
University of Kansas Health System Miralac campus that helps kids with mental illness told 41 Action News back in April that they were seeing a decline in patients. They believe the virus was making patients and their families not come in. Now, that's not the case.
Overall, for summertime, our numbers are probably 50% higher than we typically would see.
There's also an increase in calls to the Johnson County Mental Health Hotline.
Crisis line, may I help you?
We've seen over the last 17 weeks about a 30% increase in the number of calls, both during the day and at night.
The director of the mental health department says they are hearing about people taking their lives on a weekly basis.
Utah, the state in desperate need of the L-shaped Tetris piece. We now know that one of the easiest ways to stop the spread of coronavirus is just to have everybody wear a mask. Unfortunately, telling everyone to wear a mask is also one of the easiest ways to spread idiocy.
After more than 1 week since schools have reopened in Washington County, the Liberty Action Coalition hosted a rally in front of the school district building this morning. Up to 1,000 people showed up, saying that children being forced to wear masks in classrooms is illegal and even unconstitutional.
Now hundreds have gathered here in front of the Washington County Administration building, calling for the end of a mask mandate.
If we want to wear a mask, that's fine. We can take care of ourselves.
God damn, these people were crazy. In fact, you know what? They should have let them storm the school building, because maybe they would have accidentally learned something. Like, I'm still trying to process everything that was going on at that rally. No matter how many times I watch that video, I still find new things to process. Like, that video is the closest thing I've seen to Facebook comments happening in real life. I like individual freedom.
Yes, breaking right now, Pennsylvania Governor Tom Wolf says he will appeal a ruling on his coronavirus restrictions. It's a ruling with potential national implications, Peggy. A federal judge said the governor's restrictions on limiting gatherings and closing non-life sustaining businesses are unconstitutional.